Welcome to the Q3 2024 earnings call for Regency Petroleum Company Limited, listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange as RPL. It is our pleasure here at L.E.A.R.N Invest to be moderating this call. I am Renee McDonald, the CEO and Investor Relations Lead for L.E.A.R.N Invest. Please join me in welcoming Andrew Williams, the CEO of RPL, who will be taking you through this call.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Renee, and thanks to the L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest team again for facilitating this process and allowing us to communicate with our shareholders and the general audience, the general public. All right, let's start out with a word of prayer. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, once more we are here. Another earnings call, oh Father, and we thank you for all that you have done for this company and for each and every one of us. We ask now that you continue to keep your blessings and mercies upon us, oh Father. Continue to guide and protect this company and protect us all. Lead us into your path, oh Father, as we give you full control over us, over our company and over our lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So welcome once more, everyone, to another earnings call, Q3 2024. And as we have expected, there's an increase as we expected over quarter. However, we have a few disappointments which I have to mention over the quarter. But overall, our performance was well, and we are pleased with our performance thus far, and as the company continues to grow. Now, upon going into the highlights, we saw a 395.49 million revenue or sales over the quarter, which is up 42% over Q3, the comparative quarter last year. So as I keep saying, we expect to see these increases as we grow, and we are quite pleased with what we are seeing. I think it's going good for the company, and the company is showing significant growth over period, quarter over quarter, as we expect to continue to see as we grow. Operating profit, 22.62 million, up 7% over the previous quarter, comparative quarter, 2023 Q3. Gross profit, 66.86 million, up 74% over the previous quarter, comparative quarter. And net profit seeing 21.64 million for Q3 2024. So I know a lot of persons are asking about Kingston, which that's where I said disappointments earlier. For Kingston, we have seen some constant delays. So we have been working through some challenges, primarily some challenges that we don't have any control over. Primarily our power connection and some other stuff that we don't have control over, which we'll go into further into the call. But we had our steady increase in revenues with what we are operating currently. We have a revenue increase of 98%, so 98% up to 1.2 billion from year to date. Our total expenses rose by 159%, which we'll go further into that later on, landing at 111.18 million as we grow. We see additional expenses, which we try to curb and control our overheads. So we have seen 111.18 million cost in expenses, an increase of 159%. Earnings per share increased from 0.037 to 0.057. And with regards to our Sunday closure, I can gladly say that our company has been performing exceptional, considering this action that we have taken in terms of decided to close on Sundays. And I can tell you, we have some persons who were some controversial remarks like, how are we going to close on Sundays? But the fact of the matter is that we have not gotten one company. We have gotten a lot of credit from customers in terms of a lot of respect gained for the company overall, for us taking this stance. And I can tell you there's a good signal coming out of the Sunday closure for the entire country, because it is respected by the general public. That's the general remarks that we're getting, our comments from individuals, customers, just the general public. The company has gained respect for this action that we have taken or what we have implemented. And we have seen where our company has been doing better with regards to our staffing, our employees, and just the general operations of the company has improved. And we have to give credit, because, as I always say, we the company is coming from it's growing significantly over the period. So it's coming from a small market share, from a very small market share in this industry, and it has been growing and gaining market share over the periods. And it is primarily, I would say, due to our having God included, or inclusion of having God in the company and having him take control in assisting us in our decision making, and in just including him in our operations, in all that we do. And this Sunday closure has proven quite beneficial for the company. And I'm sure, based on faith also, that it will just continue to grow as we have been seeing. The evidence is there, and there's so many testimonies from this Sunday closure that I cannot go into all of them now, but there are so many things that are coming on the table. And I know that it's based on our stance that we have taken and where we have positioned the Almighty into the company, and we have no doubt that this company will be a success and will continue to be a success. So with regards to the Sunday closure, I said our financials will show, an increase in revenues, increase in profits, and as we steadily grow. So I am quite confident, and we are as usual are putting everything in God's hands. We now move on to our financial highlights, and I put you over to my CFO, Mr. Jerry Grant.
I would like to say thanks to Rene and the team. I would like to also present our third quarter results for the period July to September 2024. The company generates 395 million in sales over the quarter. This is a direct result of 3 service stations being fully operational currently. Even though we have encountered higher cost of sales, we were able to generate a 74 increase in our gross profit. Profit before finance costs increased 7%, and we are showing a 22.6 million profit before finance costs, and profit before taxation 21.6 million for the quarter, which arrive at a net profit similar to the profit before tax, as we are still within that period where we are not paying any tax and profit due to being listed, and it's still coming out at 21.6 million. At the close of the quarter, it's a 10% increase in net profit over the prior period. Earnings per share has also increased over the quarter. The quarter ending 2023, it was showing a 0.013, currently showing 0.015, a 15% increase. Okay, this is a graphical representation of what we have just looked at, for those who prefer a graphical insight of that representation. Our operating revenue for the 9 months ending September 2024, for the first time, is showing a $1.2 billion. For the first time, the company has reached the $1 billion mark, and this is a 100% increase over the prior period, and this is a tremendous achievement for the company. We have basically budgeted to reach this figure by the end of the year, and we have achieved it within the third quarter, and that's really a significant achievement. Gross profit has increased 101% year to date compared to the prior year. 53% prior year to date increase for the profit before finance costs. Profit before tax, 53%. And finally, net profit, 54% year to date compared to the prior period, 2023. Earnings per share, that moved from 0.037 for the period 2023 to 0.057. That's a 54% increase. Really a tremendous increase in our earnings per share, and I know all the shareholders will be happy to see that achievement. Also, this is another graphical representation of what I've just highlighted. We now look at some highlights from our balance sheet. Our cash resources is still healthy, showing at 18 million for the quarter. Profit, property, plant, and equipment, a significant increase, also 445 million compared to 372 that was in 2023. Our accounts receivable, a significant increase also, and I know person will have a question on that in the question and answer section. Those we can dive down into in more details. Our long-term borrowing, really 215 million. As our shareholders would have known from previous earnings calls, we would have reflected the second tranche of the bond in our third quarter figure we are looking at right now. And our payables, a 42 million increase, and that is expected due to the increase in business, increase in the number of service stations being operated, and increase in the volumes of fuel and other products that we would have purchased. Another graphical representation for those who prefer that format. Okay, our cash flow from operation, outflow of 14 million for the quarter ending September. Quarter ending September 23 last year, it was 58 million. We are getting close to the outflow in terms of increasing our profits. So we are basically seeing a reversal of the outflow due to the increase in profit. Cash used by investing activity, 34 million outflow compared to 124 million in the previous quarter. And that would be the direct result of the gestation in those quarters, which would have been fully under development. We are coming to a close now, so less cash is being needed for those finishing touch that we have doing on those service stations. Cash used in financing activity, 363,000 2024 outflow, and a 92 million, which in 2023, and that would have been as a direct result of the bond also. I will now turn over to our CEO to finish his presentation.
Thank you, Jerry, for that explanation. Right, so with regards to our company's outlook, we recently launched our campaign for franchising, and which we have been seeing getting a lot of inquiries into that. So there are many different avenues. We can continue to email us regarding that. What this franchising really entails is it includes both segments, which is the LPG and for the automotive fuels. Now, there are various different modules or avenues we can explore when it comes on to franchising. So anyone who is interested in the industry and becoming a franchisor or partner with Regency, we encourage you to come on board and inquire how you can be a part of the company via franchising for LPG or automotive fuels. And what I can tell you with regards to reinvestment in retail business for the LPG is that We have been steadily, as we always mention, we have been steadily growing our LPG market organically, meaning from our profits earned from LPG, and I'm talking specifically now to the household cylinders. We're getting a lot of questions and queries from all over the island regarding when will we be entering our areas like Kingston, Portland, the North Coast, because we're mostly concentrated in the western regions of Jamaica, no, Westmoreland and Hanover. So we have been investing in our cylinders, and we are seeing returns on these. So we have been investing heavily from our profits in cylinders, household cylinders, and we are seeing the benefits of this. We have been seeing the benefits of this over the past previous quarter completed, close to the middle to the end of the quarter. We have received some containers, and we are distributing across the western region still, because what we want to do, we want to concentrate on the western area and try to master this area with our market share, gain additional market share for the 25 pound and for the 100 pound cylinders. And it has been proven successful so far and encouraging. So we'll continue to do so until we gradually grow across the island. So that's it for our outlook at this time. I with regards now to let's take some questions and answers, and we can go into Kingston after.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Andrew and Jerry. As always, it's a pleasure to hear what is happening from your perspective as a management team from RPL. One thing that we did not hear today that we usually hear about is your giving back, right? What have you been doing? We know that you give back to schools and churches, and that's a continuous and ongoing thing. Is there anything else that you'd like your shareholders to know about?
What we introduced recently, which is not, our giving back remains the same in terms of our obligations. We stand by our obligations with schools and churches, donations, what we constantly do. But this is more on the marketing side. What we have been doing now is having like raffles and giveaways for customers that have been loyal to the company. We're also expanding on our membership program. So we are trying to include our Jamaican public to be a part of the company, and therefore buy a club membership and therefore gain benefits from the company. That's on a marketing point of view. But in regards to the CSR or corporate responsibility, we stand by our churches. We provide whatever services we can to our churches that we are obligated to. Cooking guests for the outreach. We provide school. We're aligned to certain organizations within the community for youth in assistance with school, books, and therefore. So we have this constant obligation that we have to live by. And we have been continued living by it,
All right, thank you so much for that. I'm happy to hear it always. So we have a few questions from our investment community, and we're going to jump into those now. So the first one is, what do you look for in a franchisee?
Well, that's a broad question. For a franchisee, and as I said, it's two segments. It's LPG and it's automotive fuel. So it will be specific. The requirements will be specific towards the segment that you are interested in. Now, whichever segment you are interested in, primarily, there needs to be some capital. So the individual would have to have some equity to put into the investment. So that's the primary thing that we are looking for. Equity from the individual to add to the investment, and we will assist also with that. So the equity can be, it can be different ranges of equity. Let me give you an example, just to see if I can answer your question. If you're seeking a gas station, for argument's sake, and you have property that you own property where suitable for a service station, and that's the only thing you have to offer, we can meet and discuss. Okay, fine, you have the property and it's a suitable location. We will be able to assist you with approvals for a service station. We'll probably be able to assist you with the construction of the service station to a certain level, and then we would have to take a stake into that company, but you would also be included in terms of operations or whatever. So just it's a lot to go into, but that's just one example for the automotive field. For the LPG, you would have to be investing in cylinders with us. So this requires some form of investment in cylinders and also infrastructure to store these cylinders, and therefore and we work together, and we give you customers, we assign the customers, and therefore and help you to grow your business. We go into an agreement where we help each other to grow together, so it will be beneficial for both parties.
Right. And that, of course, is what everybody's looking for in an investment, right?
Yes.
So I do understand from the perspective of wanting the other party to also have some skin in the game,
Right.
as they call it. And that was pretty clear from what you have shared just now. Our next question from our investment community is: how do you expect to close out the year in terms of profitability?
Well, I'm happy for that question. So far, I'm a bit disappointed. I mean, just a bit disappointed, because I expected, I know many other individuals and shareholders, I expected the Kingston location to be open already. We have high expectations from this particular location based on our due diligence done in the area, and we're a little bit disappointed that it's not opened as yet. We have obstacles, challenges along the way, some things that are out of our control. Well, currently out of our control, so we have to just wait, until we can get the necessary stuff in place so we can actually open. Which I said is out of our control, but we are still pressing on it. So a little bit disappointed there, but confident that we have it open in this quarter coming, and that we should see, based on our expectations and budgets and forecasts so far, we should see an further increase in our revenues. I'm hoping we can reach close to the 2 billion mark. That's a target, we're hoping we can reach close to it, and instead 2 billion, but close to it. Based on how we're going so far, it seems like we're on our way. So if we have the Kingston location open, we should be close to that with revenue, and therefore our profit should reflect in relation to the revenue. So yes, our profitability will be for sure more than what we experienced last year, and it will be an increase. So I'll just leave it at that for the time being until the need for the next earnings call.
All right, so good. Sounds like there's a lot to look forward to.
Yes, definitely.
Right. So, Jerry, this one is for you. Are your increases in expenses one-off now that the gas station is about to open?
Well, expenses has been a tough battle for us. It's a constant fight, and we are discovering new expenses has been hitting us from time to time, especially with each opening of a gas station. And I would not say it's a one-off. It's gonna be a constant thing that we're gonna battle with, and our job is really to rein it in, keep it intact, and we have been at the table discussing, finding ways how to do that. It's a part of the business with a growth business. New administrative costs, staff costs, security costs, all of these costs in electricity, it's a part of doing business, and especially when the business is expanding. So we have to expect that and just work to minimize the effect on our bottom line. That's the main thing. Minimize the effect on our bottom line, and we should be okay.
I can add something to that. What I can add to that is that, yes, as Jerry said, expenses are expected to increase with opening of a new gas station and overall. But what I can assure our shareholders of is that this is something that we keep a keen eye on. I would say almost daily. We have management meetings every other day. We meet with our management team to oversee and to evaluate and assess operations at each location, so that we can identify if there is some aspect that we make improve on, or we can cut our overheads without affecting even our staff, or just affecting the general operation of the company. So this expense is very critical. I mean, this is what can allow the company to fall on in profits or increase its profits. So we put it as priority to constantly evaluate our expenses and overheads, so we have it in control. And we also employ technology as it comes by. So we try to keep abreast of technology and keep abreast of it, meaning that we employ the prudent ones and to ensure that we can cut our costs and be efficient and productive and profitable and increase profitability from this. So expense for us is one of our top priorities to control and keep abreast of. We don't want it to get out of hand at any point in time, especially for a growing company. We want to be on top of the expenses and our overheads. You know, that is, I think that from a management point of view, that is very critical.
Sorry. Thank you for that. The next question from our investment community is: will you need to raise any additional funds in the short term?
Well, as the opportunity arises and it's feasible opportunity that will be profitable and will benefit the company, yes, we will. But currently, we have a number of things on the table. Everything premature and preliminary discussions being made. So, and I take this opportunity to mention again that all that has been coming on the table, I personally attribute that as a testimony of what God has been doing to the company, since especially we have recognized him so much and we are being recognized even for that. And I see where, from a first-hand point of view, we have a number of growth opportunities coming on our table. You know, so we again include God in this decision-making process. So I know we have a very bright future ahead for the company based on what I've seen currently, which I cannot speak of as yet. But in the near future, we'll see. Short to medium term, we should see some significant increases in the company's operations, and I'm hoping for that. I can see where we're heading that way.
All right, so let's go for that. The next question, I believe you would have already answered. What are your expectations for revenue from the Spanish Town location, and when will we see those revenues reflected? And based on your response about being hopeful
Next quarter.
Right, you're expecting to see that. So Troyan is asking if there will be any dividends this year.
Well, Jerry probably can answer, but we are eagerly anticipating the paying of dividends, as I always say. However, I'm a bit disappointed because I was hoping to have this Kingston station in operation for the third quarter. We could see those profits and revenues, and we could proudly announce a dividend payment for this year. Let us see what happens in this fourth quarter, because we have our forecast for this quarter for this service station in Kingston, and we are hoping that it meets or exceeds it, and we can see what happens from there.
Jerry, anything to add to that?
Okay, what I would say is, in conjunction with what Mr. Williams, we need to see the effect on our bottom line from the operation of the Spanish Town Road service station. We expect increased value, increased traffic, increased volume, but at the same time, we know also that maybe the unit price for gas would have been also lower. So we really need to see the figures, before we make deliberation, and the board will need to look at that to make their deliberation also. So yes, we want to pay a dividend. The company is in the growth stage too. We have to be careful, but everything we do is, at the end of the day, will go to the long-term future and betterment of the investors that we have. So sometimes we just need to exercise a little bit more patience to earn greater reward. So it's really a timing situation. Also, let's see what our figures turn out to be, and then we can take it from there.
All right, sounds encouraging. Shareholders, keep that in mind. You're being asked for a little more patience, but you do see where we can see where the company is doing everything in its power to grow the revenue, to grow the profits, and so ultimately be in a position to pay dividends at some point. There are two other questions from our LGI investment community. So we're going to jump over to those, and I'll just say to those who are listening or watching, if you have any other questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment section, and we'll take them as well. So, current question: are there any considerations to putting your own products on the market, like your own oil, etc.?
Yeah, all right. This is something that we have considered and we have actually looked at over the last year, really. What we have to be doing, yes, we can come out with our own products, own oil, whatever, but we have to look at the bottom line. Putting out our own products, the appearance will seem attractive, but when you do further depth analysis of this, you'll see that based on the capital expenditure outlay and the revenue income from this, it doesn't quite add up as yet. Reason being, we only have 3 service stations right now. We need to have a network of service stations, and then now it will seem more feasible for us. But definitely, because personally, I am from a lubricants background, and I've been in lubricants for years, born into lubricants. So for sure, for sure, we will definitely include that. But the timing currently is not, as I say, we have to be balancing out and meeting and assessing and evaluating on a daily basis to make sure that we maintain what we have and we increase from where we are.
Okay, thank you, Philip. Thank you. Your comment is noted. The next question I'm seeing, and so far this is the last question, unless we have any others that drop in the comment section. Are you still focused on growing the LPG business, considering the revenues from the gas station line?
Come on, most definitely. The LPG business, is a business that we have a passion for. So the LPG business is a business that has longevity. The LPG business is a business that will always has a long life ahead of it, and is a profitable business. However, LPG business is also capital intensive, and we have to be and risky. So we have to be careful how we expand on the LPG, which is why I always say let us grow it organically for the time being. Now we have a lot on the table when it comes down to LPG. We have been doing our assessments and evaluations of what we are doing, and as I said, we have been growing it organically. We have been buying our cylinders. we have been gaining market share over the last quarter, say last 2 to 3 months. We have seen a significant change, an increase in our revenues from our household cylinders primarily, and we will continue to grow it organically until we are able to gain that amount of reserves where we can go ahead and invest heavily in the LPG market, which would be in the short to medium term, for us to do a heavy investment in LPG, particularly household cylinders. So yes, LPG is definitely a primary focus of us in terms of expansion.
Good to know. So I think that brings us to the close of the Q&A section. I am just double checking if we had any other questions, and I'm not seeing any. So again, we say thank you to our audience, to the shareholders and potential shareholders, and the general audience for listening in. I will hand back over to you, Andrew, for any closing remarks you'd like to make to the audience before we close out. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. Well, something to note, we have, and something very significant to note, is that we have exceeded our $1 billion mark in revenue, which is a huge achievement for the company, and we have exceeded this $1 billion mark in the third quarter, upon completion of the third quarter of this year. Now, the company is on a growth path, and we are growing steadily. We are a little bit disappointed that we didn't have the service station in Kingston opened for the third quarter as promised. However, we have some challenges and obstacles that we are pressing on, and we're hoping to overcome them very soon. So we should have the gas station open in this fourth quarter, and I'm really eagerly anticipating whatever additional revenues from this service station in Kingston. I know all our shareholders also are anticipating. Our customers, the general public, we're getting constant phone calls when you're going to open, because they are anticipating they want to experience the Regency brand in Kingston. So I can't tell you how we're really anticipating the opening of this Kingston service station, and we are hoping to have a grand opening in prior to the festive season, prior to the Christmas. So we are hoping to have it completed, operating, and have a grand opening where the general public can come in and enjoy whatever festivities we may have for the Christmas at that particular location. Now, moving forward, as I stated earlier, we have a number of opportunities that is on the table, that very premature and preliminary discussions are being made. But generally speaking, the company is definitely on a growth path, and the company definitely has a bright future ahead. What I'm seeing on the table now, what the opportunities I'm seeing coming across the table for us now. Remember, we are a listed company for 2 years, and the growth that we have experienced over these 2 years by being a listed company, by being recognized, and by many different actions that we have taken and what we have pioneered so far, it has shown that the company is on its way to be quite successful, and as I always say, we want to be a multinational, but we have to master our own country first. We want our Jamaican people to benefit from all our products, which is why we have our franchising that we came out with recently. We want to open up the landscape. It's a global economy, but we want to include our Jamaican companies, our entrepreneurs, to be a part of Regency, a growing company, a listed company on the stock exchange, a company that has hopes to be multinational, a company that is led by God. So we have our franchise. We want to include everybody, and we are on a steady growth path so far. We're looking forward to Kingston in the fourth quarter. We're looking forward to reaching close to the 2 billion mark at the end of the year. Close to the 2 billion mark. It would be great if we could exceed the 2 billion mark, but that's a little bit too much to hope for right now. Probably, I'm not sure, but let us see what happens. But I know where we've been so far, a broken record for the company, and I'm sure that we'll continue to break records as we grow, and we want to include our general public, our Jamaican people in the company. We are looking forward to opening Kingston. We are looking forward to being the corporate era. Kingston is awaiting us. The customers, they are eagerly anticipating the opening of Kingston. So we want to see that. That's our primary focus currently. So in the very short term right now, our daily activities, our primary focus is having that Kingston location open, whilst we have other things on the table, opportunities that come across, and negotiations being taking place for the continuous growth and expansion of the company. And thank you once more, our shareholders, for having confidence in us. And I'm sure that we make you all proud. We make our Jamaica, our country, proud by being a Jamaican-owned company and a household name in Jamaica. Thanks, everyone.